Cobra is one of those movies that feels like it was made to live on VHS shelves. The kind of tape you'd see at the video store with that iconic cover, Stallone in the sunglasses holding that gun with the laser sight, a matchstick in his mouth, and you knew right away that this was something you had to rent. It was pure 80s grit, soaked in neon, violence, and attitude. Marion Cobretti is a cop, but not the clean, by-the-book kind. He's the guy who shows up when the rules stop working. From the moment you see him, you know he's carved out of the same rock as the era's other action icons, but he's sharper, colder, and less forgiving.
I'll blow this whole place up!
Go ahead. I don't shot her. I don't deal with psychos. I put them away. You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Cobretti doesn't waste words, doesn't play nice, and doesn't care about the politics of the force. He's there to get the job done, and the job usually involves a body count.
The strong arm of the law.
The movie is pure 80s excess, and that's what makes it so fun. The violence is brutal, the villains are larger than life, and the whole story feels like it's been stripped down to the essentials. Good guy, bad guys, and a city that looks like it's rotting under the weight of crime.
Die! Drop it!
The gang in Cobra isn't subtle either. They're axe-wielding lunatics, chanting in warehouses, moving like a death cult instead of a street gang. It gives the movie this strange, almost horror-like atmosphere. You're not watching cops and robbers, you're watching Stallone take on an army of faceless maniacs.
Pretty hair.
And then there's the atmosphere. Cobra has that neon-drenched style that defined so much of mid-80s action. The streets glow red and blue, the cars gleam under streetlights, and the whole thing has this VHS energy that never lets up. Even the quieter moments, like Cobretti eating cold pizza with scissors, add to that gritty, offbeat feel.
Society is breeding a new kind of criminal.
It's not really about being realistic and more about being stylish and creating a world that feels dangerous even when nothing's happening. Cobra never pretended to be high art, and that's why it still works. It's lean, fast, and packed with attitude. It's the kind of movie that feels like it was made for Friday night rentals, rewound and replayed until the tape started to wear out. It doesn't need depth because its strength is in the mood, the pace, the way it throws you into the fire and never lets you cool off. When I think about Cobra now, I think about that VHS cover at the video store. I think about the rough energy, the one-liners, the way Stallone looked like the coolest guy alive, even while everything around him was burning. Cobra is pure 1986, loud, violent, stylish, and unforgettable.
You know what the trouble with you is? You're too violent. This is where the law stops, and I start. You have the right to remain silent.
Cobra is one of those movies that somehow slipped through the cracks. For all the talk about Stallone in the 80s, it's always Rocky or Rambo that people go back to, while Cobra sits on the shelf like a forgotten gem. To me, that's what makes it so fun. It doesn't have the polish of his big franchises, and it doesn't pretend to. It's rougher, dirtier, and unapologetically over the top, which is exactly why it works.
It's also breeding a new kind of cop.
All along you knew it wasn't right.
On top of that, Cobra has moments that are just flat out fun. Cobretti cutting pizza with scissors, the one-liners, or the wild car chases where it feels like the city itself is falling apart. It doesn't slow down long enough for you to question anything, and that's part of the charm. It moves fast, it hits hard, and it leaves you with images burnt into your head.
Victim was mutilated with a sharp instrument and seemed to be just as unlikely a victim as the other 15.
The thing is, Cobra never tried to be a masterpiece. It wasn't made to win awards or get glowing reviews. It was made to deliver an experience, loud, violent, stylish, and fun. And because of that, it's aged in a way a lot of cleaner, safer 80s action movies haven't. And it's still amazing to watch, like slipping back into that VHS era where the grittier the movie looked, the better it played. That's why I think Cobra is so underrated. It's not a footnote in Stallone's career, it's one of the purest examples of what 80s action was all about.
Rocky, Rambo, all American heroes. Now Cobra joins the home video hits. Stallone is a cop called Cobra, the strong arm of the law. Now available on VHS and beta video cassettes only from Warner Home Video.